Ladies and gentlemen, I got an apology for this nice gentleman. A few months ago, we filmed in the same studio, and in this microphone, the battery died, and we got the video, but we didn't get a sound. So this time, finally, we certain that we have the sound now for you, and Megan will be able have the honor introducing her friend.
This is Aaron Sims from the Inward Artworks. Aaron founded Inward Artworks as a result of wanting to bring the arts and culture to the Inward neighborhood of Manhattan. The last year, you've seen the program just expand wildly. And can you just tell us a little bit about some of the things that you do to foster the arts and some of the most exciting things that you have planned?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you again for having me back.
Thank you.
Well,
Some
thank you
people...
I'm very grateful. My apology one more time.
Listen, when people would pay not to hear me talk, they keep me quiet. But thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for allowing me to expound upon the mission of Inwood Artworks. So our mission is to create and curate professional performing and visual arts in Inwood and surrounding community, because there are no spaces for arts and culture to happen up there. The closest movie theater is 100 blocks away in either direction. The closest performing arts venue is at least 50 blocks away.
Wow.
There's no galleries. And so there's a real demonstrated need. I like to say, because it's true, there is an embarrassment of artists who live up there, and yet it's an artistic desert as far as there's no entertainment options for the local residents, and there's nowhere for local artists to practice their craft. So Inwood Artworks gives both those options at the same time. So we're hyper local. Our focus is on presenting and producing work by local artists, and then also concurrently it provides a local entertainment option for arts and culture, be it film, stage, or visual arts. That's kind of our holy trinity, so to speak. This past year we just finished our third Inwood Film Festival. Can't believe it. That film festival presents shorts and features by Inwood artists. So the rules are they're either shot uptown or they're made by people uptown in Inwood, Washington Heights, Kingsbridge,
They have
etc.
to have some kind of
So
correlation.
yeah, there's a connection. So we're very inclusive in the sense, like, you could shoot your movie in Cuba or Alaska, but if you lived in Washington Heights, Inwood, etc., so on, around the area, it would qualify. But also, if you lived there and you shot there, or you were from somewhere else and shot in the neighborhood.
What if it's funded by someone from the neighborhood?
That's
Still considered?
Absolutely. I mean, we're inclusive, not exclusive. So it's like we want people to celebrate the work of local people, and producers are artistic people too. People forget that. So we're very much inclusive, and we champion local artists. So that would definitely fall into the goal. So we just finished that. We're about to embark on our second Filmworks Al Fresco summer season, where we bring free outdoor cinema to the parks, because there's no movie theaters, right? So
How do you attract talent to film there, to be there?
believe it or not, the neighborhood attracts themselves. I mean, it's the most gorgeous foliage in Manhattan. It's a true forest in Inwood Hill Park.
How about maybe not having a permit for the putting tripods on the ground? That might be a great attraction. As you know, right now the new law in New York City states if you put a tripod or monopod, you're obstructing traffic. So you have to get a permit, and it's a lot of movies been moved to New Jersey, moved to Long Island, to other places that don't have that kind of law. So if any particular neighborhood would be able to be kind of not under this kind of restriction. I'm sure lots of weddings will come that way, and they get, those weddings have expenses. They pay parking, they buy food. The community might definitely benefit.
Yeah, I mean,
photographers will come to film. I'm sure movies will come to film.
Absolutely. I mean, Law and Order's up there about every week filming an episode.
Yeah, but these guys have big budget. They can afford to pay the permits and stuff. I'm talking about small artists who don't have that kind of budget, like Laura Nauda.
Right.
You mentioned that you were talking to the park. You've gotten permits from the parks, and you've been going through that process.
Yeah, the park's been great partners as far as...
It takes a couple of weeks, if not months.
Oh, it takes Yeah, usually months.
And a lot of paperwork.
But like anything else, with partnerships, you have to finesse it. You have to just say, be upfront on what you want, what you're trying to accomplish. And I think, and if you're articulate about your message you're trying to accomplish, usually they're pretty good about being together, unless you're doing something obscene, which is
There is no
not
rain
the
check.
case.
If there is a rain on the film day, and
That's right. I learned that the hard way. I mean, last year we got rained out. One performance last year. Well, listen, it's part of the nature of the beast, though, and you try to build in. You plan for the worst, and I actually built in rain dates, but we had more rainouts than rain dates, and so you end up losing. So I licensed the movie. I have everyone there, and then they're okay. Well, I guess we're not doing it today because it's coming down on it. So
I purchased 300 coats just for that reason. If I have a wedding on rain day, so I can give coat to everybody.
Well, that's
I have
true.
maybe 20 to 30 transparent umbrellas just if I have to film on a rain day, so my cast will be at least under the transparent umbrella.
If you have the budget for 300 transparent umbrellas, it's another thing too.
I buy it in China in bulk on pounds, so I buy it very cheaply. It takes a couple of months to get it from China, but coats cost like 20 30 cents a piece, so they're usable for one time. And the umbrellas, it's like $7-8. You just have to wait for them 2 months to come from China. But
we have some really resilient audiences. I have to say, though, I have a very fond memory from last year when it did start raining, and people did come prepared, and they're like, they popped it up on themselves, our audience, because you begin and end programming for your audience, and so we have a very arts-loving and resilient audience, and so I'm like, well, if you're still here, I'm still going to be here, and we'll try to make it happen until the power goes out, so to speak.
Do you find that the parks are very pleased to have you putting on these performances, and that you're bringing art to this area? Like, essentially, do you find that both people in the parks department and people in the local communities have responded very positively and want to see this evolve and grow in the future?
I remember to ask them, of course, but I think so. They haven't given me a reason to the contrary to think so. I definitely know the local community members have been very vocal. I get emails and people in the local coffee shops asking me, when are you announcing your season so I can put it in our building's flyer. So I think we've we created consistent programming where it's an empty field. So at night, you're going to come see a ginormous theater setup where you can sit down and have a coffee and bring a picnic, and then tomorrow morning you're walking your dog. It's empty. it's ephemeral. So I think we're literally creating space.
Well, my experience, if I may, my 5 cents add, I try to get those permits. Number one, I purchase all the DJ and lights and equipment for the events at park, with quite a bit of power, because there is no power outlets in the parks, so you have to run either from like 100 generator, and it's really far, and its head generators are heavy, so you have to have a very heavy, stronger wheeler to bring it to the park. Then the permits, it's again to have event, because I do the fashion. I don't know if you know, and I want to have a runway in the park so everybody can see, and I want to show the beautiful designs. Guess what? You need to have for every 10 people, you need to have at least one toilet, mobile, and they require, and it's expensive to bring those toilets and remove them and chairs, all that stuff. And then you realize that it's easier to do events inside and rather than in the park. And park will be so much inclusive.
It's
people
true
can
too.
come.
But the thing is,
there ways to somehow to be overcome this? Because I go to the event. Recently I went to event. They had one toilet for probably maybe 3,000 people. The line was like 50, 60 people.
Bad at math.
And how did they get away with that?
I don't know how. It was in Williamsburg, huge place, 3,000 people, and but in the park they would require you to have that many. Is there ways to deal with this?
I mean, what I do is, I think it's important to do things in the park or wherever, if it's even inside. One of the things I preach is accessibility. So all my programs, whether it's paid or not, it's like my highest ticket price is like $20 for really high quality events, and then there's free, which also has problems because people don't value free very much anymore. But at the same time, is that
Facebook is free, the Google is free,
but it's
people
not an
like
experience. That's not Facebook's not a communal experience. You're not there.
It's community. It's online community.
It's not. I disagree with you in the sense that it does not replace the live experience.
No,
you're
not
interfacing
replace,
social media. At social media, you're actually. We're talking about the campfire here. We're talking about telling stories. We're talking sitting next to you right now and her.
That
You
you
can't
remember
replace this. So
forever.
we're talking right now,
Yeah.
and you're sharing breath, and you're creating moments with people in real
Absolutely.
time. So that's not replaceable. So I think there's value to doing that, and parks are one of the best places for communal activities.
They
Having
don't
said
let
that,
you charge
there
money.
are.
If it's a non-profit, you can't sell tickets.
You can, but it's a different permit for a different kind of event.
Oh, yeah.
You would have to. What I'm doing here is I'm bringing free outdoor film in English and Spanish. By the way, it's the only outdoor film program in New
Nice.
York City doing bilingual programming. Every single film is if in Spanish. There's English subtitles if it's
Wow.
vice versa. So that's accessibility, and we know there are bathrooms up like where we're positioned. We know there are bathrooms not too far away when they walk in to the park. There's bathrooms there. There's
That's
bathrooms
really
at another place in
convenient.
the park. So I don't feel like I have to take upon myself to bring bathrooms in when if where I've positioned it, it seems like there's excess to it. So I didn't. It's not an expense I have to do.
You have a client in me.
But you have. But
I'm ready.
I think you're not alone in that. But I think it's important to say you can have. You have to be smart about what kind of event you're trying to do. If you're trying to film and do a big production of some kind, that's
just
as far as
small.
your runways and things like that. It's a different horse of a different color, so to speak.
But the parks gave you a great location for this,
Sure.
and this has been really successful now for 3 years. So what has the turnout been like? Like what was the first year's turnout versus the second versus the third? Have you seen it growing steadily?
Sure.
the film?
Well, the film. Well, we've only done the outdoor film. So this will be the second year. So I couldn't tell you for the Al Fresco series. The Inwood Film Festival is indoor, and it's grown exponentially. We started with 4 screenings in a catering hall above a dispatch on 10th Avenue and 214th Street. We thought maybe 20, 30 people would show up. 120 people showed up
Oh
per,
my goodness.
per screening, and like it was
That's amazing.
Woodstock. They were out the door there, and it was a great community activity, showing short films by people who made them in Inwood and Washington Heights, or they made them somewhere else, but from who lived in the neighborhood. So neighbors were meeting neighbors. A great story from last year was 2 filmmakers came up to me, and one goes, "Hey, this is my friend." I'm like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" "New friend." It's a new friend. I'm like, "Oh wow, new friend." Like, "Yeah, we live in the same building." Like, and they're both filmmakers. They didn't know each other. And then no, we understand. We live on the same floor, and we didn't know each other.
Wow.
And we've seen each other before in the hallway, and then they're in the same film festival because they're incredibly talented people. And so now they've started friendship through film because
They met through that.
so at the very end of the day, so how we've grown. So we're creating community, but using art as a platform. That's what we're
Amazing.
doing. And then, but logistically, we went from 4 screenings that first year above a catering hall into Columbia University has partnered with us to use their Campbell Sports Center to for our second year, which added more seats, which was great, and we added 2 more screenings. We sold those 6 screenings out, and then this past year we added a third day and 9 screenings, and we sold those out. So it's been really, I think you're smart, and you grow with your audience, you grow with your filmmakers, and every year I'm like, no one's going to come to my party. But I think if you just use that,
How do you
measuring
measure?
stick-
Do you see the likes? Do you see the views? How do you do your analytics?
Well, first off, we have festival passes, and so that tells me just by sheer butts and seats of who's attending and what rate they're
But
going
before
at.
prior, like, do you measure by number of views when you announce? How do you know how many will come?
Oh, you don't know.
You
No,
don't
you,
know.
you don't know. I mean, the first year I didn't know at all. That's what I was saying.
You thought
I didn't,
it was gonna be
I
30,
I
and
thought it was
then
gonna, we
120.
thought, but people sit them buying tickets. You're going, my goodness, we're gonna have to add more chairs, and we did. So we could do that. So that's the thing. We you learn by doing, and you keep measuring and you keep measuring, and you budget, and you hopefully you forecast correctly. Sometimes you can be very much disappointed, but I'm happy to say, knock on wood here, that we're yeah, there it is. We're growing at a very slow but responsible rate, and we're serving the community.
How do you fund it?
Shake the tree when you write a check. There's no profit like non-profit, let me tell you. So, we have ticket sales, of course, but that's the thing. Ticket sales happen after the fact. We have to produce the events. All the expenses are up front. So, we have wonderful sponsors and local businesses. I write grants, so I try to go in as much as we can, capitalized. But very happy to say that every program we've had is in the black. That's including our free programs.
That's great.
Okay.
So we've
And
been
you
really
also
lucky.
do things for theater. You don't only do film. You were telling me that you've done stuff for theater. You've had things called the back porch shows I've been
Right.
told about. And then now you're also starting to do stuff for visual artists where you are setting up a gallery for artists to show in Inward all throughout the month of June 2018. Correct?
Absolutely. So going off the earlier conversation, there's no space, right? So I'm creating a temporary space through a pop-up. Just like in the park, there's a field, now there's a movie theater, you're walking the dog, next day is nothing. I'm taking a dormant nightclub and turning it into and repurposing it to be a community cultural arts center for the entire month of June. So what's going to happen is we're turning a nightclub into a day club. So we're going to open at 10 a.m. 10 to 3 you can come, hang out, have your coffee, have your tea. You can read, write, have meetings, rehearse, whatever you want to do. Come see the art. We're going to have 30 different local artists on exhibition on this second mezzanine tier. I'm sorry?
And what kind of mediums are going to be shown?
Sure. This particular show is mixed media. So we'll have photography, we'll have acrylic, we'll have oil and canvas. So it's a lot of mixed mediums for this
Something for
particular
everybody.
show. Yeah, because the theme of the show was called Taking Charge of Change, and it was something for everyone, and it was specifically open to Inwood and Washington Heights artists on this theme because our neighborhood's going through many, many changes right now, and so we wanted to give artists the opportunity to express themselves through whichever medium their strength is, and those pieces will be auctioned off, and the artists will, of course, benefit from that. So we're about paying artists. We want to be a conduit and a platform because artists are merchants. They're real people making real money, and they deserve to. What a concept!
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot of fun things. So we'll have a place where people can come during the day. We're going to have silent hours from 3 to 6 where you can. No talking or anything, where you can get work done. You can have your headphones on, you can do anything, but you can meditate, you can take a nap if you want to, you can write the great American novel, whatever you want to do. It's there for you to concentrate on your craft, because everyone I know in New York is like, if I just had 1 hour of silence to collect my thoughts, well, here's 3 hours of silence, and maybe you can get something done. And then at night, we're going to flip over into events. We'll host workshops on Tuesday nights. We're going to have an opera workshop, a stage combat
Till
workshop.
what time?
The events, we're not going to... So here's the thing. We're not going to go late. I mean, when the nightclub's open, we'll be closed. We'll be closed by, most nights. We'll be closed by 9, 10 o'clock.
May I suggest something?
Please do.
I'm a YouTuber, as you can see, and
Yeah.
so here we work from, let's say, it's available from 9 a.m. till
Yeah.
9 p.m.
Right.
Brick Art Media Center, same pretty much hours.
Right.
I often film with doctors and lawyers and people who have jobs, and so they not willing to come daytime.
Right.
They want to come after when the business offices close.
Sure.
I have not found yet any nonprofit space in this city other than WeWork or private places where
Right.
it open 24/7. If you guys can be open at 3 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock in the morning, and people can film at that time,
Yeah.
a lot of professionals who would refuse to come during daytime when they earn a living, they would come and film at nighttime.
I'd be open to it, honestly, because the
doesn't
spaces,
require- it's
the
still
spaces
same
are for
rent,
24
same-
hours a
as long
day.
as
So
it's extra light in the
Yeah,
bill.
I mean, it's have to cover my expenses. So the thing is, I need someone like you to come to me saying, "Hey, you know what? Could I shoot overnight here?" And I'll say, "Absolutely." I just need to make sure that someone's there responsible, that you're not going to burn the place down.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I have insurance.
well, I mean, I have
Of course,
insurance too, but the point is, it's just about saying, well, it's like you meet artists, you need to make sure they're not crazy.
Absolutely.
Or just the right, or just the right kind of crazy. And the right kind of crazy is just fine. But no one's approached me yet to say, I want to shoot at 3 o'clock in the morning at your place. But they had approached me saying, hey, I would love to do Zarzuela, Spanish operetta. Would you want to do that? And usually it's for an audience. It's for a live performance.
Right,
So I said, sure, why not? So we'd want to do that at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, which we're going to do. Or someone came up to me saying, I want to choreograph I have this concept for a brand new narrative for a dance. And I'm like, that sounds great, and it's based off of Alexa, the Amazon. And I was like, let's do this. Sure, let's figure it out. And they said, can we rehearse here? I said, sure. Well, they don't want to rehearse in the hours of the morning. They want to rehearse in the morning, and sometimes. So we're going to be dark on Mondays at Culture Hub because I'll be in the parks doing movies. And so I said, well, yeah, you can rehearse there on Mondays when I'm dark. Do you know what I mean? So it's like so we do welcome it.
Wow.
It's all about really reaching out and making the effort and just seeing can we work together.
What is the best way to reach out to you and to the organization? Can you share with the audience?
No way. I'm kidding. I'm happy to. It's Inwood Artworks. It's so on your social media channels, it's very easy. Inwood Artworks, and then our website is inwoodartworks.nyc. So also very easy, not a brain buster. And I'm Aaron Sims, the executive producer. And feel free to email me if you want to talk, figure out something we want to do together. Sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Back. We so appreciate
pleasure.
it. It's always
Thank
wonderful
you so much
to hear
for
from
coming.
you and hear
Thank you.
about this. So everybody, check out Inward Artworks because they do some really awesome things. I can't wait to see the show in June.
Come in June. 30 events in 30 days. A lot of rehearsing happening too.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to have Aaron come back and announce maybe a few of his events in the next couple of months, please comment, let us know, and we would gladly have him come back. And I promise every time we will check on a number of occasions the sound is there, so we film
the
properly.
Sound, everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.